minutes. Please share with us why you are deciding to run for City Council. What makes you most uniquely qualified to take on the challenges of this growth? And please include, if you have not already done so, any relevant experience on boards and commissions. Each of you will have 2 minutes to respond. We'll begin with Mr. Beach.
Thank you, sir. I currently serve on the Planning and Zoning Commission, so that is one unique aspect I bring to the job. I think being a recent transplant to Buda, I see the city from maybe a different light than some of the other folks. I see the unique character of the city, and I would like to see that maintained. I would like to see us not be a suburb of our northern neighbor. I'd like to see us not be part of other towns that are around us, maintain our unique personal character, and I know we can do that. I've been out knocking on doors. There are a lot of very interesting people in this town. There's a very diverse opinion of people. I've met a lot of folks that are fun to talk to, and boy, you can get a lot of opinions here. Just ask. But I believe that in order to maintain the uniqueness of this city, we have to manage our growth. Our new Unified Development Code gives us a blueprint for that. I know it's going to need to be tweaked a little here and there as time goes on. We all know that it's not a perfect document, but a lot of thought was put into that process. I'd like to see us, once again, as I stated earlier, attracting businesses that provide jobs here in Buda so that people can live in Buda and stay in Buda. I hate driving north on I-35. I do it every day. Hate it. I'd rather not. And I'd like for other people to be able to stay here in Buda and work and live in Buda. I'll stop now. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Same question, Ms. Fallon, and add to it, what is your vision for Buda in 20 years?
20 years. I'm hoping I'm still here. Still living here. Hope my kids are still here. Maybe not with grandchildren yet, not sure. Like I said, my grandmother opened the longest existing restaurant in town. I'd like to have some more options for our community in here. Obviously, we need to get the roads where they need to be before we bring in some extra traffic. I think that the best way to maintain our small town feel is to invest in small businesses here in town, invest in our neighbors, because they want to open a business here. They want to, they want to work here and live here, and it boosts our economy. I mean, it's the best way to do it. I have one of these lavish leather earrings, that's a guy that I went to high school with. His sisters are the ones that put that together. It's not me buying from Kendra Scott. She's great. She's local Austin, but I want local Buda, and that's I think my qualification is the fact that I've lived here for so long, and I have seen it grow to what it is now, and I know what I like about it and what I don't like about it. So on City Council, I would hope to ensure that what we are bringing to Buda, business-wise, is going to be what's best for Buda.
Thank you, Ms. Fallon. Mr. Dodgerow, same question, your motives for running and what makes you uniquely qualified, your experience and your vision for 20 years from now.
Sure. So I currently serve on the Central Texas Council of Governments. I was on the Buda Housing Committee. I'm an active board member for Keep Austin Beautiful. As far as Whispering Hollow goes, where I live, I am the chairman for the festival committee. Every year we get together and throw a big party in the park where we have bands and crawfish and just bring the community together. That's what I have experience in, bringing people together. And if you can bring people together, you can discuss differences and we can get through all this together. My vision for this city, first of all, let's get our infrastructure done. And then we can do other stuff. We also have a bond project we're doing new parks. We're redoing City Park, and we've got a possible swim hole coming up. These are the things that are going to attract people to Buda. And when they're attracted to Buda, they stay in our hotels. We get the hotel taxes, we get the sales taxes, and everybody benefits from it. I view Buda the next 15 to 20 years as a destination and not just a commuter town. I think we can really put it together. We've got some stuff other cities don't have around here, and hopefully we can get these parks finished and completed, and they'll have a big amphitheater there. We can have some really unique events out there. Maybe this city can sponsor more stuff and just get people to town and bring the commerce.
Thank you, Mr. Dodger. And Mr. Montoya, your vision for Buda.
I vision for Buda 20 years from now, this town will grow with, except that it's limited geographically by all sides. The thing that Buda needs to do is secure some long-term water to sustain the growth. My platform 5 years ago was smart growth, and I think that's taking place. And also, the other thing that needs to be addressed is the supportive housing. Now, some people use the term affordable. I use supportive housing in that whenever I go around recruiting potential businesses for Buda, one of the things that detracts them from coming to Buda is that there's no housing for their workers. So that's a drawback. The last time that this was done, somebody proposed a housing development. They had it was not in my backyard. Well, that can't continue, and you can expect Buda to grow. And the other reason that I'm running is to represent the underrepresented. The makeup of the Hispanic population is 35% in Buda, yet they have no representation whatsoever. Well, if the minority is not elected to the council. I hate to bring that up in that aspect, but that's the truth. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Montoya. Thank you, candidates, for being here. Mr. D'Aquila's previous question, I'd like to ask you, as residents of Buda, are you in favor or opposed to Buda going to single-member districts, and why? Start with Ms. Bellman.
I think that the proposed charter amendment for 3 single-member districts and 3 at-large districts would be the best way for us to approach this. I know that the single-member districts are really good in ensuring that everywhere is represented. But I think for me, I work in the pulse of the city, so people can come and ask me any question that they want. And I think that's how it should be with elected officials. We should be able to have anybody from either side of town, any neighborhood, be able to ask me, hey, what can I do about this? And then for me, as the elected official, I can go check it out for myself. It would be, that's what I would hope to do. I might have to take my kids along with me, or have them, okay, go ride your scooter on this street. Let's make sure that those potholes are not, that bad. But I think that right now, I would hope that the members of City Council are representing the whole city well. And I think that just trying out both sides might be the best way to do it right now, but maybe not do it long term.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Beach, the same question, please.
I'm in favor of single-member districts. I think it provides a better way to represent the entire city. If individual areas have their representative, their needs are represented on council, they are given better input to what's going on within the city. I know that I live where I live. People live on the east side, people live out here in west side. They have knowledge of what's going on in their neighborhood. They know what needs to be done. I can't know every single neighborhood. I can only know my neighborhood, and I could drive all over the city every single day of the week and still not know everything. So I think that individual areas need to have representation. As far as implementing it, I like the idea of doing it in 3 districts, and then when we get to 25,000, going to 6 districts. I think that's the best way to implement it. Gives us an opportunity to make sure that bugs are worked out. I am in favor of single-member districts.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Montoya, the same question, your stance on single-member districts and why?
I'm in favor of single-member districts for the single point that all the city needs to be represented by individuals and individual players the way they reside, so that they have fair representation. It is really sad when people on the east side, they have no voice with city council affairs unless they come up to the council, and hardly ever do. So that's my stance on that.
And Mr. Dodger, same question.
In principle, I'm for it. I think you get equal representation. Here, I don't think we're ready for it. You can just look as an example of where we're at right now. We've got two candidates sitting in the audience because no one's running against them. So until we get larger, I think we can hold off for it. And when we do get larger, I think we should go to a hybrid system where you have 3 at large and 3 single districts. I believe that's the way to go. So.
I'd like to piggyback on that last question and just ask the 3 other candidates, to Mr. Dodgero's point, there are 2 seats that are uncontested, and many individuals in our city are saying that perhaps that's a sign that we're not ready for single-member districts. So, Mr. Montoya, how would you respond to that?
I would say that that's not the right premise. The premise is that the last election was an ugly election. There was 30,000 spent by one candidate, 10,000 spent by another, 20,000 and 10,000, and they got really contested on the social media to the point that they got darn right ugly. And I think that turned some of the people off for this. Said that, if we ever repeat, I don't want any part of it, which is sad. And so far, I contested and I have maintained some civility in that area. I hope it will continue that way. It's all about whether people make the right choice, all right? It's about you people making the choice.
Thank you, Mr. Montoya. Ms. Fallon, same question.
I forgot the question already, I'm sorry.
So, many people are saying that the fact that there are uncontested seats is a sign that our city is not ready for single-member districts, and what would you say to that?
I do agree. I mean, it's hard you can't force somebody to want to be a part of this. I mean, you can't make them be involved as much as you talk about, or as many problems as they might have. It doesn't mean that they want to run for city council. And like I stated before, it would be great if people saw you as a voice for them. They could come to you and it not be a big deal. And be like, hey, I have this issue going on. Can you look into that for me? You're like, sure, I'll do that for you.
Thank you, Ms. Fallon. Mr. Beach, same question.
I think having single-member districts might make it a little easier for people to run for office. It's kind of difficult to do a citywide campaign. The city's gotten larger. There's a lot more people on the voters list. I think if people felt like their neighborhood was being directly represented, they might be more inclined to run. And because it's a more compact area that they have to run in, it would be a little easier to run for office, and you wouldn't have to be running all over the city trying to drum up support from everybody else in the city. You just have your little district that you work. So I'm still in favor of it.
Candidates, if elected, I'd like to know what would be your top 3 priorities as a council member. We'll start with Mr. Dodger.
All right, thank you. Prioritize and complete bond projects. We've got them on the book. We've got to get them done. They're there. It's sitting and waiting for us to do. We got to get these road projects done. We got to get the drainage projects done. We got to get the park projects done, the connectivity, the trails. Get all that done, and we'll be cooking. Responsible growth and right zoning. It's with whole road I-45 cutting in at 1626. That little corridor is going to be the new gateway to West Buda. We need to make sure that we know what that looks like. And a lot of people have thought about this and zone, but we need to go back over and make sure that we know what we're getting into, because we only get one shot. And then the next thing would be Buda as a destination. Like I said before, with the new parks coming in, new swim hole, we've got something special here, and we should sell that to the surrounding communities. Get them come here and spend money. We get hotel taxes, and we get sales taxes, and everybody's happy.
Mr. Montoya, same question. Your top 3 priorities if elected to the council.
Well, personal. The first one is implementation and completion of all bond propositions that were passed 3 or 4 years ago. The bills were actually mighty slow. is in all cases. But I think that some of them are on their way, but I think that there needs to be a push to finish those out so that the citizens can see that what they passed is actually getting done. The other one is securing their long-term water. That will help with the growth of Buda. And also be prepared to annex Sunfield, which will happen in the next 5 to 7 years. And that will take us over the 25,000 of the single member district.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Fallon, same question. Your top 3 priorities if elected to the council.
Infrastructure seems to be the top priority for everybody. That's traffic, drainage, water supply, make sure that we have an adequate water supply. The drainage projects need to be addressed. You know, the 2015 floods when my friends had her house flooded. It's just stuff like that that we don't need our neighbors to have to go through. Traffic is terrible. I take my daughter and my niece to go eat tacos in the morning, and I try to get them to Dahlstrom on time. And even getting from the restaurant to Dahlstrom, which is normally a 10-minute drive, takes forever just because of, you know, the road projects that haven't been completed yet. Public safety is probably my second. Like I mentioned before, the disproportion of officer to citizen. We have a population of over 14,000. We have 19 police officers. To me, that sounds a little, you know, a little wrong there. There needs to be a little bit more, some more hired so that we can get them out and patrolling and making sure that the city is safe. And again, big on the small business support. The Main Street program is really great for the existing businesses. The EDC incentives are really good for recruiting businesses as long as they are businesses that are best for the city.
Thank you, Ms. Fallon. And Mr. Beach, same question.
I guess I'm on board with everybody else on number 1. We've got to implement the bonds that have been put forward. My second one would be water, wastewater, infrastructure, roads. But my third one's a little different. I'd like to concentrate on implementing the Unified Development Code, the downtown master plan. That's a high priority for me.